Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I just wanted to do a really quick garden update and show you guys what's going on in the garden this week. Alright, so this week we are still battling with the deer. We now have, this is a 7-foot tall post up here, and we have these fishing line strings all the way down through it. So that is one barrier that we have, and that did not prevent them from going through our arbor, which was open. So we now have a net, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but there is a net all the way in front that we have strapped on with some twisty ties here to tie the net on so they cannot get through the front door. And we also have the little sound things that are supposed to be some kind of sensor that they don't like. And we have also been spraying some kind of deer repellent spray. But last night they still jumped this fence, as tall as it is, and they still got in and nibbled on a couple things, not as many. And then they jumped out. They didn't break the strings. They didn't tear down the net, so somehow they're still just jumping right in. So we're gonna try the spray again tonight. It stormed all last night, so I think it just washed all the spray away. And we're gonna try it again tonight and see how that does. All right, let's go inside here through the net. Our cucumbers are really taking off, so we built this little trellis for our cucumbers and our watermelons and some of our squash here. We have lots of little watermelons. These are baby watermelons that are on the vines, and you can see one of them is down here. We got another little one growing and another one over here. They say they're ready once this little tendril here that's right next to the watermelon turns brown. So it's still green, so we have a ways to grow. We have a few cucumbers on the vine as well. There's not as many as I thought because it's been 90+ degrees every day this week. So hopefully, as if it cools down a little bit, we'll get some more. But there is a cucumber there that is growing. Got another one over here. So they are taking off and climbing up this trellis nicely. The beans, I did have to replant all the beans because the deer nibbled on all of them for our bean teepee. So we have a few that have just started to grow back. And these right here just sprouted, and last night the deer just ate them again. So the battle between what I can get to grow and what the deer are gonna eat. So I think another line of defense is maybe to put netting over the bean teepee or the things that the deer like. So plant some more and put some netting over it. Our tomatoes, I got them staked up now, all of the ones that self-seeded, and we have about 20 tomato plants here. These are the ones that self-seeded. All of the ones in this row here and all the ones in this row here are the cherry tomatoes, and they're doing pretty good. I'm having to make sure that they don't have the fungus that keeps wanting to get on them with all the rain at the nighttime. So I have to spray them for that. Starting with this big trellis, these are the steak salad or steak sandwich tomatoes. They're just starting to turn. Vince ate one today for his salad, and he said it was very delicious. So these are really big. You can see they're like almost the size of my hand, so they're really big tomatoes. This one over here is the Roma tomatoes. They are just starting to turn as well, and Vince is ready to eat them. Then our little cherry tomatoes, got a couple that are starting to turn. So I think this next week we'll be looking at quite a few tomatoes. So lots of them, lots of little cherry ones on the vines. And then this one is an, I think this one was called an early girl. But funny enough, not a single one of the early girls has turned red yet, so they're not as early as some of the others. And this one is a best boy. It has a lot of big green ones on it too. None of them have turned red yet either. And this one seems to be more of the dwarf variety because it has reached the top of this and it hasn't grown anymore. So I think it's just grown the few that it did and stopped, as well as the strawberry lemonade. It also stopped growing, and here's one here. It looks like it just split just since yesterday because of all the rain. We had a lot of rain last night, so I'll go ahead and pick that one. We'll have to cut it up soon because it's split. And this variety just gets kind of the pinkish yellow, which is why I think they call it strawberry lemonade. Just a step back here in our back garden. This one, the bugs just ate up our squash and zucchini plants, so I just replanted those. You can see they're just starting to emerge again, and so we got a couple that are on the vines. The roots are kind of gone, so I'm waiting for these to just mature so I can pick them. There's another one. This is a spaghetti squash that's right here on the vine. So it's turning yellow, so that's good. And the butternut squash, they were growing so well until their roots got kind of destroyed and they've stopped growing and started turning. So they're a little small to pick, but I don't think they're gonna grow anymore. And so I had to replant some of the delicata squash as well. We were able to get one and eat it, and it was delicious. And I planted some more delicata squash as well. And the corn is doing okay. We've had a lot of heat, lots of heat, so hopefully the corn will get germinated, I guess is the word. So these little things up here, they have to kind of fall their dust onto this down here so that the corn forms the kernels. And it's been kind of hot and wet, and there's not a lot of dust. Last year these had a lot of dust when you touched them, and you could kind of sprinkle it on the little hairs, but this time I haven't seen hardly any dust come off, so I don't know if they're going to get a good corn crop this year or not. The beans, you can see here where the deer ate them, and the broccoli, they ate all the broccoli, so we've replanted all that. The eggplant, I just harvested one, and it is growing some more, so they're looking really nice and shiny. We got quite a few on the vines. And our squash and pumpkins over here, as well as our cucumbers, are doing really well. We've already got some little pumpkins that are growing. We got a little pumpkin here, got a little baby blue pumpkin over there. So those are growing. And we got our cantaloupe that just got seeded. It's already germinated, and our round zucchini has just germinated. We replanted all the okra that the deer ate last time, and they all just came up. And then this morning the deer ate probably 8 or so of the small ones that just popped up. So we still have quite a few that have popped up, but if I don't figure out the deer situation, they're going to be gone too. The carrots, they're still growing, but the deer did eat quite a bit of the tops off the carrots. And I just replanted all the beets, so they're starting to germinate as well. And we've enjoyed our turnips and turnip greens, so I replanted some of those, and they have just germinated as well. So you can see the turnips right here. The peppers are just gangbusters. We've already pulled about 35 or 40 peppers, but they are really growing. So you can see our bell peppers and our Melrose peppers. And I planted a new one called a chocolate pepper. So I just planted that this week. We'll see if it germinates. Yeah, so our peppers are loving the heat. They're one of the few that really, really like the heat that's going on this week. And then we have our serrano peppers here. Those are a little bit hotter. So overall, I don't know if the corn's gonna do great. I had to replant all the squash, and our tomatoes are looking okay. Eggplants are doing good. Cucumbers are okay. Yeah, so hopefully we'll have enough that we can still make some meals on. And this is one of the deer hoof prints from this morning. These are some of the broccoli that I just replanted, and you can see their hoof print. It's like a little heart, or upside down heart. It's pretty big. It's a big deer. Here's another one that's pretty deep. That's a hoof print here in this dirt as well, and some more broccoli that I planted here as well. So definitely had a deer come in. You can kind of see some of their prints here. But yeah, so we just got to figure out the deer thing. All right, just a quick update on the front beds. There's quite a few weeds because it's just rained, and so they pop up immediately. But the basil's doing really good. The oregano, I haven't seen any oregano pop up yet. The cilantro, I've seen a few pop up. I did plant some of the muscadine vines. They haven't done anything yet, so I'm hoping that they grow some green on them soon. Over here, I did plant some parsley and chives. I don't see any chives, but I do see another tomato plant. Look at there. And a little bit of parsley trying to peek through, but mostly weeds. Yeah, so that's it for our garden update. We're hoping that the squash grows back quickly, that the deer stays out of the garden, that our tomatoes quit splitting, and that everything else just blooms and continues to get bigger and better. So it's a learning curve, and we're still trying to figure it all out. If you have any tips or suggestions, feel free to put them down below. Thanks for watching. Bye. We did manage to get a few things out of the garden, and I cut up one of the steak sandwich tomatoes and made a salad for Vince with one of our cucumbers and our peppers. So it was delicious. And right after I recorded this video, we spotted this deer in our garden in broad daylight eating our tomatoes. We scared it off, but I did have some that fell off, so we put them in our window to hopefully ripen and get a little bit more red. What do you think, Evan? Think that big stick will scare off that deer? This deer was just standing in the backyard a minute ago eating our tomatoes. What do you think, Evan? You go scare him off? Come on, let's go scare off that deer. The deer tripped this fence line here. It snapped it. It snapped the string, and it was just eating our tomatoes. You can see where it had the green tomato pieces in its mouth, and it knocked another one off. It was eating, sticking its head through right here and just nibbling away at 2:30 in the afternoon. Just getting very brazen.